Hello everyone and welcome back. In this lecture I'm going to show you the simplest possible way to read a file line by line in Java. But in future lectures I'm gonna dive deeper into a more complex and maybe more flexible way of doing this. So to start off, we're gonna need a file to read. The first thing that you have to do is locate the file in your disk. I've created just a simple file with random text on it, and I've put it in a random folder. So here is my random file. It just has a random text on it. So to tell Java where it should read it from, you have to right click on the file and go to Properties on Windows, and you have to copy the location path. And I'm gonna get back to Eclipse. I'm gonna create a string variable. I'm gonna call it my file, and I'm gonna set it equal to the file path, followed by the name of the file, which is test.txt. And at this step you may have a problem on Windows because backslashes on Java are special characters. And to fix this, you can either make it a double backslash or make it a forward slash. In our case, I'm gonna make it a double backslash, and that will fix this problem. And moving to the next step, we should create a file object. So here I'll name it file, new file, and I'll pass the name of the string variable that we've just created, which is my file. And here we should import the file class. Or you can just type Ctrl-Shift-O and it will do the same. And now that we have our file object, we're going to use the scanner class to read this file. So here I'm going to say scanner, let's say text new scanner, and here I'm gonna pass the file object, which is file, and I have to import the scanner class as well. But as you can see, Java is still complaining, and it says that this statement must have a throws declaration, or you should surround it with try and catch. Now I could surround it with try and catch, and in the try statement you try to read the file, and if the file is not found, you can add here a sysout statement and print whichever message you would like. For example, you can say file not found plus file, but since we've not gone through exceptions yet, which we will do in the next lecture, I'm just gonna add the throws declaration, which will be simpler for you to understand. So I'm just gonna go and add the throws declaration. This will fix the problem. So what this throws file not found exception does is that if the file is not found, the program will end and will throw an exception. For example, if we change the name of the file and we click run, you can see here that an exception is thrown, which is file not found exception. I'm gonna change it back. And one thing you should remember is that whenever you open the scanner, you must remember to close it. So here I'm gonna say text close, and this will close the underlying file on your system. And now we're gonna read this file line by line. You can also read data from your file using a variety of methods from the scanner object. If I type here text.next, you can see that you can read integers, double, you can read all kinds of things on your file. But what I'm gonna do here at the moment is just have a loop that is gonna read the whole file line by line. So here I'm gonna add the while loop, and I'm gonna say next dot has next line. Here I'm gonna add curly braces, and I'm gonna say string, let's call it line, equals to text dot next line. Oops, I should change this to text as well. And right here we're gonna add a sysout statement to output the lines. We're gonna check that our file actually can be read. I'm gonna say sysout control space line, and I'm gonna run this. And you can see in my console the content of my file. Now another case would be if you would like to use other methods of scanner class, and let's say you want to read integers. I'm gonna add a number from my file. So if you first want to read the number and then you want to have a for loop to read the other lines. So let's suppose you want to read this number. What you should do is, here you should say int, for example, value equals to text dot next int, and then you should add the sysout statement, and for example we'll say value is, and here I'm gonna add value, and then if we run it, you can see that the value is read and is printed on the top of the content. And there is something else that I would like to add to this lecture. Sometimes you want to put a file in your actual project, so you may not want to use the path to locate the file. Instead, what you should do is take the file and just drag it to your project. Click OK. And here, instead of the whole path, you should only specify the name of the file. And this will work the same as it did before. So if, for example, we add another line here just to see if this works. And run the project, you can see here that in the console is printed the line that we've just added. So that means the file is read properly. Okay, so that's it for this lecture. And as usual, this code is in the resources section for you to practice on your own. And stay tuned, because in the upcoming lectures you're gonna learn how to handle exceptions. So I'll see you then.